Hello everyone, it is so good to be with you today as we dig some more into bitterness. And today we're going to do something different. I want you to close your eyes for a moment, okay? Close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes and think of a time when you experienced complete contentment. As you reflect on this sensation, when was this? Where were you? What was the environment like? Was it sitting poolside somewhere tropical on a vacation after an exceptionally busy season? Was it watching your kids compete in something they love to do? Was it taking a bite of a Chick-fil-A sandwich for the very first time? Was it after completing a major home project? When was a time you experienced complete contentment? Go ahead and open your eyes. Now I want you to reflect on this moment in your life. How often have you been content like this? I know for me, it's not often enough. I'm quick to forget all that I have to be thankful for. And instead of being content with where I am and all that God has done for me, instead I'm filled with bitterness. In Proverbs chapter 14, verse 10, we read, "Each heart knows its own bitterness, and no one else can fully share its joy." See, bitterness keeps us from finding contentment in our lives. When bitterness festers in our hearts, it poisons our feelings. It keeps us from experiencing joy through the midst of our circumstances. What's interesting about both contentment and bitterness is how they impact those around us. We read this in the proverb we looked at. When our hearts are full of bitterness, we become grouchy. we become people that others don't want to be around, because all that life is when we sit in bitterness is a series of complaints. Now, not to say that sometimes life is difficult and we just need to vent, but bitterness is deeper. Bitterness alters our minds and the ways in which we see the world around us. Now the same is true of contentment. Though in contentment we see the reverse effect. When you are content and live in this, choosing to set your life in the joy of Jesus, you begin to become someone of encouragement. Living in contentment is so important when choosing to shed the bitterness in your heart. It won't be easy. I can say from personal experience that making this change in your life towards contentment, fleeing bitterness, it's going to be difficult, but it is so important, because as you choose to live in contentment, you will begin to recognize how God is moving in and through you in powerful ways. I want to challenge you today with this very thing, to be intentional to reject the bitterness that is far too simple to allow to take control. Instead, living in contentment because of the light and love of Jesus.